Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the B&B podcast. This is episode 134. We are not joined by Brody. He's the bitch next door, just playing WoW like a nerd. However, I am joined by my other co-host.
Hey, it's Colten.
He's over there in the box over there, and today we're joined by the guy down there.
This is me. It's true.
This is me.
Me.
True.
This is Thomas. He's a guy. You want to tell them a little bit about yourself? Or,
Well, I'm a guy now. I can't talk about my past
right.
legally, but I am indeed now a guy.
Redacted.
Yeah, redacted. No, I am, believe it or not, a guy.
Right.
And I'm interested in things, and I do a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a pretty valid explanation of what I do.
Right. To kind of introduce you, do one of you want to kind of mention how you guys met?
We were playing baseball.
Yeah, I think
I
was probably 7 years old, something like that.
Yeah, so I would have been like 9, 10. Yeah, we were playing baseball and just instantly had a connection, and it was my best friend for
We still do.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. Keep talking.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I still remember the first time I came over to your house, met Simon and Julie, because your dad was the only one who took you to the games.
Well, that's because my mom worked.
Yeah, so I never met your mom until I came over and then found out she was a hairdresser. And yeah, man, Thomas and I, we got up to a lot of stuff. His birthday parties were amazing. Tradition kept strong. Yeah, but yeah, and we've kept in contact and still really good buddies. And then introduced him and Brandon together. PlayStation, I think we were playing some games.
We played Rocket League and we bullied you to submission.
And
Exactly.
GTA, bro.
Yes, exactly. And then the first time Brandon met him in person was at Brandon's house at a hot tub party.
And then a sweaty Filipino left his socks by my hot tub.
Yeah.
Okay, he wasn't very sweaty.
Well, I mean, there was a hot tub, so everyone was kind of sweaty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
that's true.
But that's Thomas.
That's the entire story.
If only How I Met Your Mother was that long, bro. You ever think it's weird that it took him like 10 years to tell these kids about a night that was pretty much unrelated to every other night of the series?
That whole show.
I don't know, man.
Convoluted.
It's dying.
Oh shit.
All right, we're good. Anyways, Thomas has been wanting to come on the podcast for a bit, and with my memory, I keep forgetting. So I had to be reminded a few times, but he's on now, and here we are. As I mentioned last podcast, we are fiddling around with name changes, rebranding. I'm fiddling around. Yes, Thomas, I know, it's hilarious.
Look at the BBC podcast, dude.
No, not BBC podcast. Damn
We
it.
narrowed it down to 2 names, which we're not going to reveal right now, but if you do follow the podcast pretty regularly, it will be on Facebook. I'll put a poll. You guys might influence the name change a bit. It's mainly to see what you guys actually think about the new brand change. We like it so far, and we're leaning towards one, but obviously I kind of want to get the audience perspective as well. So, with all that being said, this is episode 134. If I didn't say, I don't know if I did. Already forgot. Professional, I swear. Hope you guys are all doing well. And we decided, Thomas decided on one of these episodes he wanted to talk about music. So we kind of picked a rough number. I'm not going to say what, because I picked like 20. But 20 albums or 10 albums, our top albums that we think are the best in our library, maybe not of all time. Maybe we are that vain and we think of all time. But personally,
it's my library, mate.
Your mic is not working.
Better.
Colten?
It's making noise.
Oh, my headset's off, isn't it?
Yep.
1 sec. Yeah, it does that. I'm like, I can't hear. I can hear you from the living room, but I can't hear you in my ear.
It'll be edited in post. We're okay.
But yeah, I might be vain in saying that mine are all the best of all time, but they're really not. They're just, for me, the albums that I think don't have any skips.
Yep.
And just still hold up today, because some of these ones are older, some of them are newer. I kind of want to talk about like our histories with music, because for me, like, I grew up listening to 80s rock. That's where I like first started my path down like learning what music was and what I liked. As I got older, into my preteen years, my brother introduced me to like heavier music, metal,
Cheers.
alternative rock, stuff like that. And my music taste has kind of just evolved since then. I still enjoy 80s music. I like 90s grunge. I like alternative. I like hip hop, metal, rap. So I've really evolved my music taste over the years, especially since I got Spotify. That was a big turning point, I think. Because before Spotify and all these streaming platforms were a thing, you downloaded your music with fucking like LimeWire. That was this is a flashback to the past.
Oh, mine was
Bro.
MP3 Rocket.
Yeah, but like, so my music was really confined into that space where I'm like, okay, I'll just go to my brother and get his music. And so I was really listening to his music for a lot of my life. And then once I got Spotify, I now have almost 7,000 songs in my Spotify library. So yeah, my music taste has definitely evolved, and I've kind of shared it with other people, Colten included. And
Yeah.
he's the big reason I can stand listening to music that he plays, because it's not country.
Yeah, so yours was you started with 80s music. Mine, I grew up on country. I'm gonna get a lot of hate from this from
Unfortunate.
these two for sure. Yeah, there it is. I grew up on country, and it wasn't until I met Brandon that I started to really broaden my horizon. I got into like Papa Roach, Avenged Sevenfold, Shinedown, and now I never used to really like heavy music, but now like Brandon, Brody, and I, we're going to see a metal concert in 11 days. Ice Nine Kills, Black Veil Brides, and
You just
Motionless in
dated
White.
this podcast so hard.
I know I did, but anyways, so yeah, my music taste has really evolved. I still do honestly love my country. I always will, but alternative rock, metal, and all that really has a special place in my heart now, and I thank you for that, Brandon. You really introduced me to a whole new world of
Good
music.
correct.
Okay, come on.
Proud of you,
Country's
man.
not bad.
It's fucking shit, dude. It's so bad. How many times do you want to hear about a guy who lost his dog and his wife? You know what I'm saying? Like
Down by the railroad track, I went
I was
in my
waiting for
pickup
this
truck.
shit.
My wife got hit by the train that my dog was driving.
No.
Okay, you guys forgot the most important. There's gotta be a
Beer!
beer in it. There we go.
The dog was drinking a beer while he hit my wife with a train.
Why the fuck's there a train?
I was drinking the beers. I watched my dog get hit by a train. My wife was driving it.
Anyways, Thomas, what's your relationship with music over the years?
Well, I grew up listening to metal mostly. That was what my dad listened to when he was growing up. So a lot of like Halloween, Iron Maiden, stuff like that, more like a power metal.
Mm-hmm.
But I started to learn guitar when I was probably 9 years old and hated it for a long time. Until I went to Las Vegas when I was 11 years old, and I wanted to go see the Michael Jackson Cirque du Soleil show.
Mm-hmm.
But it was sold out, so my parents bought the one for the Beatles, and I mean, I was pissed because I'm like, what 11-year-old is like, yeah, to the Beatles, right? So we went, and I was just captured by this, by what was going on in front of me. Like the music was something I'd never really listened to before, and that's where I found my love for the Beatles. And since then, that's been my number one, but I've kind of projected in some other fields, like due to playing football and basketball, I was kind of introduced to rap because that's something my family never listened to, so I didn't know really what it was. And other family members like punk music. I'm a big fan of some like obscure, like, well, not obscure, but not
mainstream.
Yeah, like punk bands from the 70s that my uncle listened to, and so it's, my music's just kind of gone like this, except for country though, because I have taste. Gonna cry, boy.
I don't know if he's frozen or if he's just sitting there. I think he's frozen. Oh, yeah.
There we go.
I could hear him in the living room talking.
For fuck's sakes! Fucking connection issues is what it keeps popping up with.
Leave that in. You got to keep rolling with the punches, man.
Yeah, I need to know what I need to see this in later. What happened?
Nothing. I was perfectly responsible and mature, and did not diss country music in any way.
Son of a bitch! I know you did.
All right, moving on. We should start through our lists here because, like I said, I have a few. Most of these that I have, here's my list here. Most of these I have are like, newer music. I didn't really put any 80s or anything on here. I was kind of just focusing on the newer music. I literally just went through my Spotify library and picked albums. So there's definitely some on here that I wish I would have put on, or some that aren't on here that I wish were, but I just didn't have the energy to go fucking seek them out and find out which ones I wanted on here. Starting off, this band is kind of different in the sense that the main vocalist is just very broad in what he does. It's mainly alternative rock, but he also does rap. And what I like about him is he has like two personas.
Come on. You got some MGK on there, bro. Come on. That's who you're describing right now.
I'd shoot myself before I put that fucking dickhead on here. Fuck MGK, okay? Fuck you.
He's got that. His fucking Rick. Dude, he got a fucking ring with thorns in it, so his fiance can't even take it off. Like, she can't. It's got thorns in it, so she just pull it off. It cuts your skin. Did you not see that?
No,
I don't care enough about MGK and Megan Fox shit.
Listen, him and her drinking blood, that was enough, okay? That was enough.
I was dead after that.
Anyways, no. The band is highly suspect, and their main vocalist's name is Johnny Stevens, but he also goes by his rap persona, which is Terrible Johnny. And he has like 3 or 4 different projects, but I just like it because he's not just stuck in one thing. Like, you see so many bands that's just a carbon copy over and over and over again. They keep pumping out the same goddamn shit. But I feel like with them, they really explore the sound and allow themselves to experiment a bit. So the album I have on here is called MCID, which stands for My Crew is Dope. But it's a lot of it is exploring his past with his family and like all his trauma, and also like exploring moving on and healing from that and being able to move past it through music, which I always love when there's passion behind it. So that's my first one.
There you go.
Nice.
Colton.
Yeah, okay, well, I'm gonna get hate because my first one's a country one. It's the only country one on here, but I'm getting it over with. Fuck all of you. My first one is by Luke Combs. I've just always been fascinated with him. I love his voice. I love his message. The album is What You See Is What You Get, and the reason I love that album so much, I was working at one of my jobs. I remember when this came out. And my favorite song to this day that I have played so many times that I still listen to came out on that album. For that reason, this album will always have a special place in my heart.
White Collar Boys.
Blue Collar Boys, you asshole! Fuck you! Blue!
Right.
But yeah, that...
Easy mistake.
Yes, no, it's What You See Is What You Get. I just love that for that reason. That's the only country one. The rest is like not.
So what sets him apart from every single other country artist then?
Is it because Luke Combs is fat? Is he the fat one?
Yes, he is the fat one.
Yeah, it's he just weighs more, so he's the best.
No, because he read a tweet where he literally looks like the embodiment of cornbread, which was hilarious.
Whoa, okay, hold up. What's wrong with cornbread?
Nothing. So nothing's wrong with Luke Combs.
Well, he sings country. Okay, moving on. Thomas.
My first album on here really doesn't have any special meaning behind it or anything. It's just my favorite Beatles album. I thought that's where I'll start it off, just like Colten with country. I'll talk about the Beatles once and get it over with, so Brandon doesn't want to just like
It's fun. Okay, I don't hate the Beatles. I just feel like they're oversaturated, okay? I just feel like
Piano Man by Billy Joel. Good song, but every white household in the world plays it at least once a day, especially Colten. You look like a guy who enjoys yourself some piano, man. Look at you.
I play it once in a while. It's a good song, but
It's
yeah, it is
Uptown
overplayed.
Girl.
Yeah, it's like that.
Fine.
Fair enough.
Anyways,
But yeah, it's "Help" by the Beatles. I think from first song to last song, including the Ringo song, which usually sucks, they're all just fun pieces of music. There's nothing overly technical with it. It's one of their simpler albums, but just like it's got such raw emotion to it, but yet none at all, and that's what fascinates me about it, I guess. And that's my first one.
fair enough.
Octopus's Garden and Yellow Submarine come out on?
Yellow Submarine was on Revolver, and then the Yellow Submarine movie soundtrack, and then Octopus's Garden's on Abbey Road.
All right, Craig, your first one. Oh shit! Right, he doesn't talk.
My G.
So my next one. Well, actually, so I put two here because it kind of introduced me to a completely new side of metal. Because one thing I find, especially in the metal scene, is how fucking toxic and gatekeeping the fans are. Like, they are possibly the worst in the music scene entirely. And this band, Asking Alexandria, they released their debut, well, it's not debut, their title album, which is basically Asking Alexandria by Asking Alexandria. Now, in the past, they had created a bunch of other albums that were more on the screamo hardcore metal scene. And the problem with that is, if you know anything about music, if you're going into anything heavy, it's very straining and hard on your vocal cords. So even if you have proper training, like, you can still fuck your vocal cords up. And that's what happened to the lead singer of Asking Alexandria, Danny Worsnop. He fucked his vocals. I think he's had multiple surgeries. And so in an effort to preserve his voice, they changed their sound. They went from like metal to more like hard rock. And while they still have their like screaming their screaming vocals and the harsher vocals, they definitely have toned it down a lot. But I honestly prefer the newer stuff versus the older stuff, especially after the entire band decided, okay, we need to stop, abusing drugs, and we need to finally like heal ourselves, basically. So yeah, asking the title album, Asking Alexandria, is perfect front to back because it just explains their history with drugs and what it means to actually have this new life. And then as well, like A House on Fire was another one of my favorite albums, just because that whole album was solid. There's no skips on that album entirely, and I listened to it a lot. And I think it was probably on my top Spotify for 2 years running. But I love that band. I hope I can see them one day. I hope they come, out west Canada and not just out east. So, yeah, I love that band, and those are probably my two favorite albums they've put out to date.
No, those are very good choices. I'm also gonna go with AA. So
Alcoholics Anonymous.
mine is their most recent one, right? Yeah, this is their most recent one. It's See What's on the Inside, and I connected so deeply to that album. There's just so many good songs. There's so many different emotions that ride. Then they released one of the add-on songs, Miles Away, and I love that. I listen to it almost every day. I've got it on my workout playlist, some of the songs on there. I've got some of it on my chill playlist. Two very good songs to get high to on that are To See What's on the Inside, and you've made it this
high to.
those are my two favorite ones on there to get high to, or just to vibe out to. So just for the factor of just how impactful it is, and the lyrics and the music, I have to put See What's on the Inside as my next.
Nice. My next one is the album that introduced me to hip hop, rap, whatever you want to call it, when I was like 14. It was when I was playing basketball. Actually, I was pretty good friends with one of the kids on the other team, and so I went to play a pickup game with them in the summer. And someone showed me that, and I was like, "Oh," because being white kid from white kid household, I was kind of never around rap, and it was kind of like stigmatized mainly by my older family members, not so much my parents. So something I never really had exposure to. But the album is "Ready to Die" by Biggie Smalls. It was his first album. I played it for the first time and had to play it again because I thought that like I'd missed the skip in the album.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a song I just no, even the stuff that I would consider like not as good as the "Give Me the Loot" and stuff like that. It's still, you can sit down and vibe to it, and it's something I kind of piqued my interest in rap, and yeah, that's my second album.
Very nice. Craig, second album. All right, that bit's over.
That's gonna get old real quick.
Probably something like fucking hentai porn video. That's what Craig's favorite album is.
Whoa, you got a problem with that?
He's a
Look at
furry.
Fuck guy.
Listen,
Look at that little fucking bitch.
Is he a furry or is he like an
No, he's an actual bear. He's an actual bear.
we used to put him. His name in here used to be Pedo Bear, but
I forgot about that.
yeah. Let's see here. So my next one is "The Bastards" by Paulie Royale. And this album introduced me to them because I actually got a notification on YouTube about one of their music videos, because I follow a few record labels that release like, certain genres of music, like Sumerian Records and different like Atlantic Records, and a bunch of different labels. And so they popped up in my YouTube, and I'm like, sure, I'll give it a try. Usually I don't, tap on my recommendations, because usually it's like fucking weird, like Shrek's banning your mom from the second room.
What the fuck?
I love that video, man. Who told you about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was good, but anyways, so yeah, I clicked on it.
In my opinion.
True. I definitely prefer the Deadpool version. But
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Paulie Royale, they're from Canada. They're from, I think, Ontario or Quebec or something. And it's three brothers, and they're more into like I mean, it's hard to define them because it's energetic, but also like dark and like gloomy type of music. But their whole album was solid front to back. Like, I remember listening to that. Not this last summer, but the summer before, when Brody and I were in the other place, and I listened to that every day on my way to work. And the beauty of my job at the time, and the only good thing about that job, fuck Rona, gonna say that publicly. Hopefully I don't get sued. But the only good thing about that job was the fact that I could work outside, and I had my headphones in the whole time. Was I supposed to? No. Did I? Yes. So I had my Bluetooth headphones in, and I listened to that album probably like 50 times that summer. It's got some really good meaning about like just being accepted and knowing your worth. And it was a really emotionally connective album, because I was going through a hard time in my life that year. And it was just something to be like, okay, like, take it one day at a time. We'll get through it. You can't just give up, right? So it was an emotional album for me, and so that's why it's number 3 on my list.
Nice.
Yes. Colton, stop staring at your dick.
I'm not. I'm trying to figure this out. It says they're Canadian American.
Well, then one of them's probably from America, bro.
Because they moved in LA and they perform in America and they live in America now, but they were born in Canada.
Oh, okay, cool. I was just really curious about that, because you were saying they're Canadian. I didn't know that, actually. Did he just do it?
Shadows in the background.
Okay, bye.
You could at least get me views, you dumb
dude. Okay.
Next album.
Okay, next album. Brandon showed me this band, is the easiest way to put it. Thank you. Now at this point in listening music, I wasn't really into the heavier music just yet. So to introduce me to this band, he showed me a song called "Dear God," and then we slowly introduced me to the full album and band that is Avenged Sevenfold. And my album of choice is "Hail to the King." I Love Hail to the King. So many good songs on there. I'm absolutely in love with M Shadow's voice. Just so unique, so amazing. I'll blast that any day of the week. So just for that reason alone, next album's Hail to the King.
Nice.
Sorry, I was checking something on my phone. Yeah, I remember when I showed you Avenged Sevenfold. It was when I was back upgrading at the high school that we both went to.
Yeah.
And I had to do something, I had to get Colton to the country somehow, and I didn't complete my job, but I was like, I'm like 75% of the way there, so it's fine.
Yeah. Well, first you showed me Jack Black. That was the first different music that you showed me.
Whenever I need to introduce new music to people that they're not really comfortable with, I just show them Tenacious D, and then you can only build up from that point. So
Exactly.
You don't like the D, bro. What?
That's honestly
Yeah.
no, Thomas. That's honestly how this all started.
Yes, I know, because you sung Kickapoo to me for probably 8 straight months, dude. It was look,
Yikes.
it was just the worst phase of my life. Every single day, long ass fucking time. Like, bro, I don't care.
I sliced his fucking cockles.
Anyway.
Oh god, if Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny isn't on there, I'm gonna come down and like just be very disappointed with you.
What?
I'll sternly disapprove if you don't have a Tenacious D album on there now.
Pick of Destiny. It's easy.
Moving on.
Anyway, no, my next album was an album I discovered not discovered, I guess, but listened to for the first time fully while recovering from knee surgery. I was looking for something new to listen to because all I could do was sit there and listen to music, so listening to the same shit got really boring. And so I wanted to listen to Nirvana, but like I wanted to listen to everything Nirvana did. And so I ended up listening to Bleach, which is their first album. And to me, that is their best album because it doesn't have a bad song on it.
Mm-hmm.
Its highs aren't as high as Nevermind, but its lows aren't as low either. I don't skip a single song on this. Well, there's probably 2 or 3 on Nevermind I have to skip just because they don't compare to, honestly, how simply constructed but yet perfect those top songs are. Smells like Teen Spirit's like 5 chords. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just...
And Kurt hates that song.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think he hates it anymore. But yeah, so Bleach by Nirvana. I still love Nevermind, but Bleach is just my favorite because it's kind of what I connected with.
And fuck the child on the cover of Nevermind, you pretentious fucking...
Yeah, bro, oh my god. He's been making money off it his whole life, but I think the contract came up or something, so now he wants that money because he's not having been the Nevermind baby.
Because Colton probably doesn't know, but there was a baby on the cover of Nevermind, and it's...
for the bill. Yeah, I know this whole story.
Yeah, but you know what he's doing now?
Isn't he suing?
Well, yeah, but he's literally sold, like, signed albums from him to fans for money, and now he's like, hey, that's child pornography, I'm gonna sue you guys.
Okay, no,
I'm
fuck
so
that.
glad.
Why would you want to sue Dave Grohl? He's like the greatest dude in music.
I'm so glad Dave Grohl was just like, yeah, fuck you.
He seems like the nicest dude in the world, but
right?
He's one of those guys where I could walk into a bar and see him and be totally like a celebrity that I'd be totally comfortable walking up to them because they have such a welcoming personality. It's like him and Tom Hanks for me are the two where if I saw them, I'd just be like, yeah, like they'll definitely take the time.
Yeah. Well, we're taking shots. Yeah. I fell in love with Nirvana as well, like in the early 2000s, because I remember Lithium was trending on the radio like every fucking day, and I think that's the first song that I really heard from them, and then I fell in love with them from that point as well. I mean, they were really pioneers of their genre, so gotta respect the drip.
Also, Something in the Way is gonna become their most listened to song because of the Batman, dude. Have you guys seen the new Batman movie yet?
No. Colton didn't even know who the new Batman was.
I still thought it was honestly Ben Affleck. I didn't know it was Edward. I was like, what the fuck?
No. We have claimed him back, Trust me. Go watch this movie. It is the best movie I have ever seen. It's my favorite movie. It's so good. I've seen it twice in theaters. Anyway.
Okay, I'm gonna go through the next few on my list just because we're at like half an hour already. So we gotta pick up the pace here. So my fourth one is Sleep Talk by Dayseeker. I got introduced by this band. I heard their single Crooked Soul, which was their Hello Cat, which was their first single that they released for their album, and I fell in love with Roy Rodriguez's voice. Because some bands have one vocalist for like the harsh vocals and the clean vocals, and it doesn't work. Rory can do both flawlessly.
I love Rory's voice, man.
And I feel like nowadays when you get to the vocalist, it's one of three things. Either one person does the clean and the harsh vocals, one person does the clean vocals, and then one person does the harsh vocals. But Dayseeker doesn't need that, and that whole album, back to front, is fucking phenomenal. I can't wait to see what they put out next. And he's got other side projects. Hurt Wave is kind of more of a laid back version of Dayseeker, but it's still got Rory's amazing vocals on it.
Oh, good.
That was another album that I played that same summer. That I played the Royale, the Bastards album.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic, and nothing more needs to be said about that. But number five is special to me because this album I got introduced to by my brother, and I listened to it when I was in either just leaving junior high or just starting high school, and that's Breaking the Model by New Medicine. Yeah, Jake Rose is a phenomenal fucking writer, and he's only picked up the pace since, because they went on a little bit of a hiatus and Jake Rose went to go do his own thing. But now that they're back, like, you can just see that the energy's still there, and he's so passionate about creating music. It really like inspires you to just want to delve into their old stuff and just support them as much as you can. I love their energy in the studio. I love their interactions with their fans. Ever since they came out of hiatus, it's just been nothing but support from the fan base, and you can tell that they really appreciate that.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll do one more and then I'll pass it off to you, Colten.
Sweet.
This one was hard to pick from because this band has some stellar albums. Hybrid Theory, Linkin Park. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Linkin Park will always be one of my favorite bands, and still sad that Chester's gone and that they ended on that horrible album. But Hybrid Theory was just action-packed, punched in the fucking throat, like, you're gonna fucking sit down and listen to what I have to fucking say. And I've always loved Linkin Park's ability to switch back between the clean and harsh vocals. Mike Shinoda's a great hip-hop artist. He's doing his own thing now. And I mean, I feel like a lot of people didn't realize how much these albums meant until Chester passed, so because of that, it'll always have a place with me as one of my favorite albums.
Yep. Fair. All right. I got 4. So it was funny that you mentioned Hurt Wave. I got Night Therapy on here. That album, just, in my opinion, no skips. Just such a good album. Very depressing album. It's definitely not a happy, cheery album, but goddamn, and Rory, I love the vocals so much. So Night Therapy, 100%. Then, as I mentioned earlier, going to see Ice Nine Kills. Welcome to Horrorwood. So they started coming out. They put Hip to Be Scared out, and then Assault and Batteries, and then that rest of the album dropped, and just absolutely loved it. Favorite song in there, Ex Mortis by far, but honestly, I don't have a skip on that. The vocals are amazing, that you can go from this really deep scream to then just Spencer's vocals, and he just has such a good voice. I'm so excited to see him live. It's gonna be so awesome.
Well, and honestly, like Spencer just gives off such welcome. Like, he gives off such good Big Brother vibes. He seems like such a fucking sweetheart.
Yeah.
And I want to meet him. I'll jump stage. I'll get tackled.
Make sure you're vlogging it at least.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
And then the last two, this is my parents got me into this.
But it's country, isn't it?
No, it is not.
Bon Jovi.
Thank you. Yes, because
it was a 50-50 shot. I don't think his parents would have been a Nightmare Before Christmas. So
fuck you. Anyways, so yeah, my dad never was a country fan. He was 80s. He was that kind of stuff, and he introduced me to Bon Jovi, and oh my god. Bon Jovi, just an amazing person. I would love to meet him. He seems just so genuine, so sincere, so caring. The two albums I put were Bounce and Keep the Faith. Just such good music. Just so many good songs on there. So many good hype songs, but also so many good just like breakup songs. Just all in all, Bon Jovi amazing and still making music that still holds up.
Unfortunately, he's now old and wrinkly.
Oh, do you remember when he went silver hair? Fuck,
yeah, my mom was so sad when he fucking stopped having his fucking long blonde hair.
I remember when I saw him on a commercial. I'm like, there's no way that's Bon Jovi. And yeah, he went there silver.
Was a way. It was Bon Jovi.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's all mine.
That's all. Oh, you're done.
Stop throwing bottles on the couch, you fucking heathen.
Fuck you, it's right here.
That's still on the couch, dude. There's gonna be a clan war down there.
All right, before I murder Colten, Thomas, what do you got?
Yeah, well, I'll do a couple because I have a few left, and not as many as you, Brendan, but I still have some. So I'm gonna kind of group 2 albums together, or 3 albums together here, I guess. The Black Album and Reasonable Doubt by Jay-Z. Those are my 2 favorite rap albums to ever come out. I love them. I started listening to Jay-Z kind of around the same time I did Nirvana, which is really weird, but I did. And that was just, he's someone I kind of not could relate to because I can't in any way, but just like the vibe of his music and just how kind of flowy it was kind of caught me. So that's why I like that. And the same goes with The Illmatic by Nas, who's there's a lot of East Coast rappers I'm realizing here, but same thing where that album, the message which opens up The Illmatic is, in my opinion, the greatest opening song on any album ever. Like it's just perfect. It sets the tone. It's mellow but yet impactful. Like the lyricism is unbelievable. And there's those 2 I'll group together, or the 3 I'll group together there. And I've got a couple more, but I want to talk about them individually. So
fair enough. What else do we got here? So I'll also rattle off an Avenged Sevenfold album. I don't know if this was the first album that I got introduced to, but it's definitely the most meaningful, I think, literally for anyone who listens to Avenged. I mean, that's Nightmare.
I was about to ask, is it gonna be Nightmare? Yeah.
It's gotta be Nightmare because
100%.
That album was the last recordings that the Rev did. Yeah. The Rev, if you guys don't know, was the Avenged Sevenfold's old drummer. He unfortunately passed away. Fuck, I don't even know what year. 2012?
Hang on.
I think that might be when Nightmare came out.
Fact check.
2009.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately the Rev did pass away in 2009, but you know, the really spooky thing is it's almost like he called his own death, because at one point he handed in a song, and I can't remember which one it was. I don't think it was Nightmare, but it might have been Dear God, one of the songs on that album anyways. He handed in, I'm pretty sure the title of it was Death or something, or The Death. And so that was the last song that he had written before he unfortunately passed away. But that whole album is just a somber kind of homage to him and his memory. And had he not died, he probably would be one of the most prolific drummers in metal right now, because that man was fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, obviously they've moved on and stuff, but Sully is always in their hearts.
Yep.
What else do we got here? This was another album that I listened to through high school and kind of got me into the more hard rock, alt rock scene, which is 1X by 3 Days Grace. Adam Gontier will always be one of my favorite vocalists of all time. And 1X is a fucking fantastic album front to back. I remember watching fucking Pain and Gone Forever and like those music videos on my old desktop at my house. Or like at school, I remember listening to it and just being in love with that kind of music and that band, and they really introduced me to the hard rock alternative scene.
The new 3 Days Grace.
Fuck them! Fuck you, Matt Walsh, you fucking dick!
Fuck you! I knew this was gonna. I was like, I'm gonna mention it because I love.
Don't get me heated on that. Matt Walsh is a dick. He pretty much fucking shit talked Adam when Adam had to leave because he said that Adam wasn't reliable, basically. And ever since he said that, I've hated the man, and I don't care. And he's not a singer. I mean, a lot of people love the new 3 Days Grace. He sounds like he's got fucking a cheese grater down his goddamn throat. Seems like MGK did on his fucking cover album.
That is the worst album ever released, dude. Like, fucking hands down.
Yeah, I know. The Linkin Park cover made me want to fucking cry.
Apparently, him and Chester were boys, though, eh? So that was like an actual homage to him. Yeah, apparently that was the report that came out, as they used to be boys.
That's unfortunate. Anyways, I got 2 more left on my list, but I will pass it on to you.
Yeah, I think I've got 5 more.
Are you done, Colton?
I got one more because I thought we were wrapping up. I was wrong. I got one more and then I am done. Also, Brandon got me into these guys.
I got you into guys?
No.
Yeah. Hey, good for you. Good for you, Colton. It takes a lot of effort to come out publicly, man. I'm very happy for you. I'm sure your parents will love to find out. Your girlfriend will be intrigued.
I kill him so goddamn quickly. Anyways,
you're just sitting here and tell me that I'm wrong.
Hey, if Thomas ends up dead, at least we've got video proof now.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Shit.
You're like, yes, and I'm like, wait.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna murder my best friend. Yeah.
Survival by Shinedown. Absolutely love Shinedown. I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's just a combination of the vocals and the beat of the music and the writing.
Brent Smith does have wonderful vocals.
He really does. But 100% just love Threat of Survival because that's what got me into Shinedown. First song was How Did You Love? That was the first song I ever learned on that one.
I wasn't sure if anyone was looking at me, and then I'm like,
yes. And with that,
you should grow out a little stash like
all my albums. That is all the albums that have influenced my life in some way or another, whether it's making memories with Brandon or just getting me through some hard times. That's all of them.
Sorry, this just popped in my head.
White House on fire.
Remember that one time we were playing Minecraft and you listened to like Bon Jovi breakup songs the whole time, and we're like, you were building like a fucking goth emo castle, bro. Like, I just remember that. It was like Bed of Roses by Bon Jovi, and he was walking in this like mansion he was making. He was like, "Damn, bro."
You still remember what the fuck we called our village?
No.
Taco Vegas.
Why do you know that?
Because it's been 10 years that I can remember it.
The most obscure facts.
He can't tell you like anything useful. There's a reason he's not in college right now, but like he can tell you that.
Fuck you. That was a low blow.
Imagine not being smart, bitch.
Fuck you.
You've already asked
it right now.
How about you trade it in for some bitches, bro? Goddamn.
Oh, this is getting heated. I cannot wait to see how this episode is responded to by the public.
Anyway, yes, I've got a few more. There's two that are on here just because every album slaps, and that's Ram. Or every song slaps. That's Ram by Paul McCartney and Fully Completely by the Tragically Hip. Just good albums. There's not anything to skip. Is excellent.
White Power.
No.
Uh-oh.
Oh fuck! We started that again.
Sorry. I've then got Ride the Lightning by Metallica because there's like 4 or 5 great songs on there that just I like to listen to. I don't know. I wanted to throw a metal album on there. It's the first one that popped into my head. I'll be honest with you.
It's fair.
The Wall by Pink Floyd is on there. It's my personal favorite Pink Floyd album. I love this story because it's this tale of this dude, and he's just mentally fucked up, and his dad leaves and dies in war, and his mom's abusive, and his teachers are abusive, and so he starts to form this social wall, and he just starts snapping at people, and he like breaks down mentally, and it's about his recovery after. Wild. That's same with 2112. That's why it's on there because it's another story album. There's a cat creeping back. Keep it in for views.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so that's why 2112 is on there, and then the last album I put was "The State of Art Is on Fire" by Rocket from the Crypt. They're not like a obscure punk band, but they're also but they're not mainstream when it comes to general public. Like they're popular when it comes to punk, but that's about it. But I found out that because there was an Instagram story and it was a song and it sounded pretty good, and I was like, okay, well, I'll listen to the album, and it's just awesome. I don't think there's a single song I can skip, and it just kind of really started to broaden my horizon into what's the cat doing, bro?
I don't know.
What's
Dude,
cat
come
doing?
here.
Cat
What's
doing?
the dog doing?
He's strangling the cat.
I am not.
So yeah, that's why that's on there, and that's all of my albums. So
The only other two I have, I mean, I have more on here. I could keep going for another like 20 minutes with the amount of albums I have on here, but the last two I'll talk about in depth is The Search by NF.
Oh my god, yes.
I didn't really know if I'd like NF when I first listened to him because he's a Christian rapper, which he doesn't really refer to himself as a Christian rapper. He basically said, well, you know, what do you call a plumber that's Christian? Do you call him a Christian plumber? Like, you can't just put religion to everything. Well, he does talk about God a lot, and I'm not exactly the most religious of a person. Sorry, Addison.
I have to show him the episode just for that.
Anyways, I'm not the most religious person, but his music does speak deeply to me because he talks about like an abusive mother, and not saying my mother's abusive, opposite. My father, however, very abusive. So like I know what it's like to come from an abusive parent, and so like a lot of his music is derivative from that trauma. And The Search, again, just like I think I said, Asking Alexandria, it's another album where you come to a turning point. And I feel like this is a lot of the time this is what happens with musicians is you come to a turning point in your life. The first 3 albums he released were, you know, they were so heartfelt and they were sad, but like they made you think. And then you get to The Search, and it's like a turning point where he's faced all his trauma. He has literally laid bare everything from his life to his audience, and now it's time to move on and, you know, work through his trauma and become a better person. So I can relate to him on that level as well, because I feel like everyone comes to multiple turning points in their lives, and, you know, being able to convey that through music is probably one of the best mediums to do so. Because, you know, so many people can relate to it. And the same goes for my 10th album, which is Trauma by I Prevail. I'd say the album's flawless, but it's got one song that I have removed from the album because I cannot stand it, and that's Gasoline off of that album. I'm all for like harsher vocals. I'm not into screamo. I'll say that now. I like metal and I like heavy metal, but I cannot do the screamo. Like, I don't listen to Gojira or any bands like that. I can't do the heavy screamo tracks, and that is basically all Gasoline is.
Is that the album that came with the Dead on Arrival and Every Time You Leave?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was their last album they've released.
Yeah.
But it's it's not even the album in itself, it's what everything stands for, because they started out as a cover band on YouTube, like Blank Space, they did a cover of, and they blew up from that.
Yeah.
And then they released their first album, which I think wasn't as popular, and then they released their second album, which was more popular, that was Lifelines. And then they released Trauma, which was just exploded. Like, it projected them so far into the scene where they were able to tour and everything. And your cat's being autistic.
My God, hey, dude, calm down. We can hear it.
But basically, like, they went through so many trials, right? Like, the main singer, Brian, he went through a big depressive spurt, and like, he was suicidal, I'm pretty sure, based on some of the videos that I've seen, like, of the music videos and stuff. And then on tour, their fucking bus burnt down.
Right.
So
Yes,
they weren't,
you were
all
telling me
their
that.
equipment got destroyed. They weren't sure if they could tour, but I think either fans or insurance or something allowed them to get their stuff, like buy new stuff, buy new bus, and they were able to persevere over all odds. So I think that's definitely got to be in my top 10. I'm just gonna list off the rest of my albums. I'm not gonna go into depth just to get them out there. I also had Attention by Shinedown. That's my favorite album of theirs to date, because it's like it's a progressive storyline, basically. Wonder What's Next by Chevelle. I love so many tracks off of that album that it definitely had to make the list. How Do We Get So Dark by Royal Blood. Royal Blood's actually one of my favorite bands, purely because it's a two-piece band, which, if you know anything about making music, is fucking hard. It is fucking difficult to be a two-piece and still sound good. So they're on my list because of that. I also put Inside by Bo Burnham, because Bo Burnham.
Yes.
Burnham.
I put it on here because, yes, he's a comedian, but he's also like, he kind of runs like a meta show where he's a comedian, but he's also bringing to light different societal issues. And I think Inside did that the best out of any of his like previous albums from his specials. So I definitely connect with that album, and it's just a good vibe album. If you're going somewhere, whatever, there's funny songs, there's like deep songs, there's stupid songs.
Saskatoon. That's what you and I listened to.
Yep.
That whole album.
Another band, phenomenal band. Can't wait to see what they come out with next. Hopefully it's better than their second album, but I put their first album, which is Nothing More by Nothing More. I first heard about the song. I first heard them through the song Jenny, which my brother showed me, which is basically about his sister and how, you know, she's got all these supports and help if only she reaches out and, you know, allows herself to, you know, let her family help her. And then, you know, I listened to the whole album, and it's phenomenal from front to back. Not a bad song on that album. Their second album was a bit iffy, which is kind of disappointing, but hopefully they produce something in the near future. And then I've got Shallow Bay by Breaking Benjamin. That album was fantastic front to back. I love their story because, like, at one time, Ben from Breaking Ben, imagine that, Benjamin Burnley, was in a fight with his bandmates, and they actually tried to sue and claim the rights for the band, and he countersued and won. And then he pretty much picked an all-new band to help him perform and stuff and create albums. And he went through some pretty fucked up psychological shit. His brain, like, he was a heavy drinker, and one night I guess he blacked out, and his brain has been affected ever since, and they don't know what's wrong with him. If you want to look more into that, the album cover for Dear Agony, it's got a brain scan on it, and that's actually his brain. And doctors still don't know how he fucked it up, and they don't know what's wrong with it. So like that's just a cool story in itself, and yeah, I love that band.
You're gonna put a picture of this up.
Yeah.
What was it called?
Oh,
Dear
wow.
Agony. And then the last one, which is a newer album from these guys. I didn't really listen to much of their music until this album. I listened to a few singles, but that's When Legends Rise by Godsmack. That album just gets you pumped. That's a fucking gym album for sure. Sully Erna is such a good vocalist, and I do like their older stuff, but their new album was so fucking solid, and it was so awesome to see it live. I worked the concert. We worked the concert.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love that band, and I hope they produce more stuff like that album because it was phenomenal. But that is my list. And yeah.
There you go.
If you guys have any other ones to rattle off, you can. If not, we'll call it here.
If we're talking gym albums, nothing beats The Game by Motorhead. It's Triple H's wrestling theme. Bro, they played that before a football game one time. I mean, I've never been like so adrenaline fueled in my life, dude. Like I felt like I was going to war. So I decided to throw that out there. Colten probably listens to like Bryan Adams in the gym or something.
Fuck you, I'm about to read it. No, I listened to Five Finger Death Punch,
Mariah Carey.
All That Remains, Shine Down. Anyways,
Taylor Swift.
Before it became a meme, mine was my pump up one was Face Off by Tech 9. And then it became a fucking
about
meme.
Drive, it's about power.
So for the 10 minutes that it wasn't a meme, because it was a meme instantly, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know if you're just sheltered from the internet, but like the day it came out, there were memes.
No. I always know there's barely any country on my workout playlist, so fuck you. But
I don't
no,
know how
I just
you work out the country. Like I'd fall asleep.
My wife
Up
left
church?
me and she took my dog.
I showed you Up Church.
Huh?
With Bottleneck. Anyways.
Sure, whatever.
I showed you.
Anyways.
I was gonna say one.
What do you fucking want?
Excuse me. I'm a co-host now. I have just as much right as anyone else.
I'm the creator of this podcast. What I say goes.
Okay. All I was gonna say is I just realized I haven't listened to the full album of Attention. I only know Devil and Attention.
How do I join the Church of Brody, by the way? Sorry, this is something I've been dying to ask. I've been dying to ask this. I will be a willing disciple.
So to the audience, if you guys, I think I mentioned on the podcast, but basically Thomas was Snapchatting me while we were recording the last episode, and he had inquired about how to join the Church of Brody. Well, the first thing I think you have to do is just But yeah, you know, the Church of Brody's growing every day, and it's going to become a feared entity on this planet. Christianity, who?
Exactly.
But yeah, if you do want to join the Church of Brody, make sure to, let us know by reviewing us and liking all of our posts, because that's how you join.
churchofbrody.com/join/be a member.
I'm honestly waiting for some fucking fanatic to come across this one day and just create a fucking page for him.
Yeah.
But it's like my cult following, not the show. It's me. They follow me everywhere I go. Yeah, that'd be terrifying, actually.
But anyways, this is kind of an in-depth look at like what kind of music impacted us through our lives and what we deem as our favorites or top of all time. Make sure to let us know what you guys think. In the YouTube comments, you can put your favorite albums or, whether you agree or disagree with us. Obviously, you can definitely disagree with country because none of us like country here. So, I mean...
Okay.
It's not really
the only people who like country aren't even real.
They're lizard people controlled by the government.
Wait, I'm going to put this on Facebook when it comes out, and you'll see. Because almost all my fucking followers are country followers. So fuck you. You get to see.
Dude, you have such vulgar language.
Man. I mean, I could just edit it so your first album doesn't exist. I'm just saying, I do control what goes in the podcast.
Every time we mention it, it's just muted.
Anyways, this episode's coming up on an hour, so we are going to end things here. Did not think we'd be recording for an hour, but went by fast and it was fun.
This was gonna happen.
Anyways, Brody's not here to do the outro, so I guess that falls to me. Make sure to follow us on all the socials: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We do have a Snapchat I never use, so don't do that. Don't follow that, even though it's linked.
Let me hit you up on the Snap, bro. I'm gonna slide into DMs, dog.
I created a Snapchat because I posted a bunch of the photos and stuff on there, and then I just kind of stopped. So yeah, go follow us on there. You can listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts as well. If you just go to anchor.com, they have different listening platforms such as Castbox. I know a lot of our audience doesn't subscribe to like Apple or Spotify or Google, so those apps are free. Like Castbox is free, so you can listen to us on there or directly through the anchor.com site. And then we do have merch, but I would hold off on that because I have to shut down the store until we rebrand on Redbubble. Go support us on Patreon. There's different tiers, and you'll get different rewards, such as a shout out. I think the biggest tier is like $1,000, and you can come on as a co-host. No, I don't think it's $1,000, but it is expensive because it is a pretty big thing to set up.
I had to pay so much money, dude. It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
I paid Colten's salary.
Did you have to suck?
I mean, he did give me free PP touches alongside with, paying.
Well, I also wasn't sober, and that was at my birthday. But I guess I did give you those, didn't I?
Wow,
that's not staying in.
That's staying in.
Anyways, thank you guys for supporting. Make sure to go leave a review on Apple. I do check those semi-regularly. And then go rate us on Spotify. It's a new thing. You open up the podcasts. You go to your podcast, you go to B&B Podcast, and at the top of it, there is a rate option. So if you do have Spotify, that'll help us out. Maybe we'll be seen by more people. And like I said, there'll be the poll on Facebook to vote for the new name. So if you do follow us on Facebook, make sure to go check that out as well. And thank you, Thomas, for joining us. Hopefully this will be one of many times you're on the podcast. We'll see if you want to come back.
I do.
Hopefully next time we have Brody, and he's not playing WoW like a nerd.
I just rated it 5 stars because I didn't know you could do that. So fuck yeah!
I said that.
Boost the numbers! Yeah.
Boost the algorithm. Tell us we're fat fucks on YouTube. I don't give a shit because it's still
specifically
comment is a good comment.
Any publicity is good publicity.
That's your fuck. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching and or listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. You gonna say bye, Thomas?
I think I was just gonna sit here and nod.